XboxEra is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Dayone, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of XboxEra Headlines. The date is April 25th, 2024. I'm Sik and and Jesse and I will be taking you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. As a bonus for our patrons, we'll be making audio versions of these episodes available to you via Patreon for use in your preferred podcast app. But if you're on Spotify, you can link your account to Patreon and listen to it right there. How are you, Jesse?
Oh, I was doing great until you broke up right at the end. My connection with StreamYard seems to be getting a bit naff. Haven't dropped any frames to the podcast, though, so that's fine. Hi, how's everyone going?
Okay.
How you doing? Happy Thursday.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm not feeling very well today. Not feeling very well. But, you know, we power through because life is what no man we promises, and we like to keep them. There's not, look, we'll be honest, chat, and it's lovely to see you all. I see Resident Cheese like the StreamYard works in the chat doing what he needs to do. But please take its advice, hit that like button. There's not a huge amount of news in gaming this week, but we're gonna pick from what we can, the cream of the crop, so to speak, and let you know what's going on in gaming. But before we do that, we've got a little special announcement, seeing as we're all here. On May the 9th this year...
Internet died.
We are going to hold our very first...
No one can hear you.
Sub-A-Thon. Why can no one hear me?
Because the internet's died. Of course, it worked perfect up until now, and then it just... Yeah. Told you. I did not want to use Restream. Every time... There's something with me sending to Restream doesn't work great. But it's going now. But yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, there was something wrong with the internet, but we're back. Yeah, we're holding our very first, on May the 9th, our very first Sub-A-Thon with a big goal, because this year we are planning to go to Summer Games Fest and Gamescom as a team, which is lovely, including Jesse, all the way from America, and Nick, all the way from... yeah, Sub-A-Thon. Jesse, what do you think? How are you feeling about this?
Curious. See how long we go, what we end up playing. It should be fun. See what we can do. It is always weird to like be, hey, give me money, please. But it is the only way we can get anything done. So we got no big companies behind us or nothing. It's just this, or we don't go anywhere or do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've, as a part of this, we're announcing today basically a plan to try and recoup costs after looking at how much everything is to go to Summer Games Fest and Gamescom. Brace yourselves. The target of funds that we need to raise to send the team to both locations, and this is just hotels and flights, so we'll feed ourselves, forage for scraps, is $8,000. It's a frightening amount of money. But the donation page is live now, and I think we'll share it in the chat. So in the weeks and months leading up to both events, please help us out where you can. But we're not going to do this all just hold our hands out and hope for the best. The Sub-A-Thon,
as I knew would happen,
parcel.
Internet's not working at all. It's just dropped like 20,000 frames. I told you, man, I did not want to do Restream. It sucks. I can't seem to send anything to it. So I am just going to force close this and lower the resolution a ton.
Can we
All right. Should put us back on everything. Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I had to lower settings and change stuff. Hi. Should be better now.
But we're back.
Yes, we are back.
We're back. Okay, I'll take that as a win. We might need to tell people to refresh their streams.
I'll type that into everything.
Yes, and I know I'm going to take the blame for this one. So we've been experimenting using Restream, which allows us to send to Twitter and to YouTube and to all these different places all at once. But it has very set rules in terms of amount of bitrate and what you can send and codec. And it seems to just not be playing very nicely with Jesse's connection. So I think we're probably, until we've got fiber again, going to go back to just YouTube, I guess. But we'll muddle through this episode and hope for the best, right?
It's fine now. So the annoying thing is there's bands of service with T-Mobile. 4 of them are great, and it keeps giving me the 5th one that is terrible, and I can't get it to stop doing that, and it drives me insane. But at the settings it's
very
at
stressful.
Now, it's the settings it's at now. It should be fine. It shouldn't have any problems. I tried pushing an okay-looking picture. This just uses the old codec on Restream. But yes, anyways, May 9th at 7 a.m. our time, hosted by John, using my my setup, with me being able to futz around with it if need. Thanks to the Power Parsec, we will be doing a really
so
long
to avoid
stream.
These kinds of issues, it's going to be on this fiber connection here. We could just leave this running all day. So we've got a lot planned. Like, we're going to do co-op games. We're going to have a community game night where we'll jump in for some multiplayer Halo. We're going to do giveaways. There's a huge number of giveaways, so that people donating to the cause of getting independent folks like us out to events like Summer Games Fest and Gamescom can actually get something for helping us out. As well as a super duper cool competition. And I'm not quite sure, we haven't finalized how we're going to do this, because I don't want it to just be like a raffle kind of thing, but equally I want to give everybody a chance. So, but we're going to give away all bells and whistles Xbox Design Lab controller, Elite. So, like, if you want that, if you prefer like the Fallout one, that's fine, but we want to enable the prize winner to completely customize and design their own pad, and we will foot the bill. So we're going to be going all out to try and entice people in and raise money for sending us around the globe so that we can cover some video games for you guys, with the goal being to bring you the best coverage we can, show floor stuff, exclusive previews, all of that wonderful bells and whistles. So yeah, May 9th, I'll put a post up in the forums now on forum.xboxera.com. So you can go check out some details there, but we'll have it scheduled up in YouTube in the coming day or so, so you'll be able to bookmark that and keep an eye in, and just jump in every now and then. Come and hang out. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, and people who are wondering, like, I can't donate from certain countries because of PayPal laws. Pretty much anything you do, if it's a super chat, if it's Patreon, anything like that, it all helps. You can just, if you want to put a note, this is for the trips and whatnot. Thank you very much. It all helps. As weird as it is to keep asking people for money, we have to.
And we do hate it.
It is literally the only way we can do any of this stuff. So.
Yes, absolutely. Anyways, time to dive into some news. But before we do that, Jesse, what have we had on the site this week, on that wonderful place, that plethora of Xbox content, XboxEra.com? What's come out recently? Anything that you would care to shine a light on?
Too much. Well, we've had quite a lot. Let me go down the comprehensive list of things that have released this week, starting on Sunday, because it was a Japanese title, so it was Monday morning Japan, was Ayuden Chronicles, 100 Heroes.
Weirdest embargo.
Review from Cengiz. I then did Topspin 2K25. I did Tales of Kenzeta Zao. Nick did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade Wrath of the Mutants. Then Cengiz did Sandland. Then I had another Crab's Treasure. And then Proven and Ursel teamed up for What's Next for Fallout, a think piece.
Yeah, that was a little exploratory piece into what Microsoft could be doing now that the world is Fallout mad.
I am going to quickly refresh StreamYard because it's not being nice to me. All right. You guys can still hear me, and now you'll just see our little thing loading there. Okay. StreamYard should be better now. It was very upset from how it was disconnected before. But you should be good now, John, because you were breaking up quite a bit, so it wasn't very nice for the viewers.
Okay. Whew. It's technical issues. Like we're learning as we go.
It's not even learning. It's just we're beholden to the shit-tasticness that is constantly changing cellular bands.
Yes. Okay. Diving into the news now. Thieves is out today. If you're a PlayStation 5 early access customer. Rare announced an update across all platforms. They did their scheduled maintenance, and now that's all live. Few updates. There's a lot in the notes. I didn't see any specifics about the minor difference in shadows or the occasional bush that might pop in sooner on PlayStation 5 directly from Rare, but I'm sure folks will be checking that out earnestly and not having any fun whatsoever in the pirate sandbox that is Sea of Thieves.
Who would actually care about playing the game?
No idea. Yeah, they're probably just having some fun. I had no idea that we're doing an early access on PlayStation 5. I thought it was better, and then a game comes out on April 30th. So I don't know how much I'm going to get to play this side of the weekend because I've got birthday trips and things to take care of for my son. But we'll be looking to bring you the 2024 re-review of Sea of Thieves at some point next week once I've written and edited that bad boy and had a little look at all of the new toys to play with. So yeah, if you're a PlayStation fan, you're in for a treat.
It's a really good game. It's got a lot to do now. It's very much in that Fallout 76 didn't have that much to do early on issue, but now pretty good. And in fact, some might say fantastic.
I'd go as far as to say it's one of Rare's best games ever. But it's just me. But yes, I'm very curious to see how I feel about it after I've not played really for like 2 odd years now. So it'd be fun to really dive back in and spend several long sessions in there because I've got over 1,000 hours, even more than probably in Sea of Thieves. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm proud of it. Damn it, I'm a pirate legend and proud of it. In other news, Insider Gaming released an article. This is a byline by the one and only Tom Henderson, releasing some early details on another Assassin's Creed game, Hexe. I don't know how you would say this. H.exe. I don't know. I
think that would just be.
I'm going to say Hexe.
Hexe.
Okay. So this is a plan for 2026. And Insider Gaming, this is via Tom Henderson, understands that the game is still in a relatively early stage of development, obviously, and is expected to be a part of this Infinity platform, this Assassin's Creed hub of various Assassin's Creedy things. Hexe is understood to be a more linear experience compared to its predecessors, with some elements of open world exploration, somewhat akin to some of the earlier Assassin's Creed games. It's poised to have a single female protagonist, currently named Elsa, who has some supernatural abilities. I wonder if she can shoot snow. Is she going to let it go? It's a Frozen reference for you parents out there. Anyway, I'm on fire today. There you go. Go check it out. The article is over on Insider Gaming. I will put a link in the chat.
Nice bloke.
While we're on the subject of things coming out today, actually, heads up. the Fallout patch for Fallout 4 is out today, if memory
At
serves.
some point.
So you're going to be
Don't know when.
You're going to be jumping on that later.
Probably not. Okay.
Yeah, maybe not.
That's my plan. I would love to, but if the internet's doing the thing where it just wants to run like absolute shit, that makes playing a game real tough because it's not dropping any frames to YouTube right now or to restream. But John, you've looked and sounded like shit, and there's nothing I can really do about it. So it's unfortunate. It's very annoying.
I am annoyed for you, my man.
Yeah, you better be.
For you. What else? Grounded. Digital Foundry did their thing that they do. In a nutshell, it's worse on PlayStation 5 and it's pretty bad on Switch. I think that's the general gist. It's a tech review from the Digital Foundry team as they poured over the Grounded multi-platform releases across PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch. In general, lower resolution most of the time on PlayStation, and a worse frame rate, I believe. And the Switch, a very, very bad frame rate. And I believe I saw the words 720p, but it can go as low as 360p.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah, the Switch is kind
old now.
Yeah, it's very old. Let me see if I drop this down to 720p, if that helps. Boop. Okay. But yeah, the for the ports that we've had, it definitely seems to be the worst one so far. It's kind of weird. The PS5 one does seem a little bugged at times. No pun because of friggin' being grounded, but overall, I just think in general those games are going to have a lower resolution. But there also does seem to be some stuff that they'll have to patch up and fix and whatnot with the fluctuating frame rate, especially, which might mean lowering the resolution more. You never know. Like, yeah, it is funny to see now if people start complaining. Oh, they sabotage the friggin' ports because the Hi-Fi Rush one was too good, and Sea of Thieves was too good. It's like. Or it's, just port. Every game is different and every team porting is different. So who knows?
I'm sure things will get updated and everything will be fine and the universe will right itself. Don't worry. But yes, there you go. In other news, again, another byline from Grant Taylor-Hill over at Insider Gaming. Atari has brought Infrogames back to life. This is a blast from the past from us old people. In the 80s, this is via Grant Taylor-Hill, Infrogames Entertainment was coming up as a prominent player in the video game industry. And then it got a mass redesign at the turn of the millennium and adopted an Atari theme type of branding. And by 2009, it was no longer existing, and off it was gone. But yeah, they were responsible for developing and publishing more than 200 games during its lifetime, including titles like Alone in the Dark, Driver, Enter the Matrix, Neverwinter Nights, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Unreal Tournament, and they're bringing it back, which is interesting.
I don't think they always published everything, but they did European publishing for a lot of stuff, so it's hard to tell.
It was definitely a big name around my neck of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's okay. Okay, Atari.
Yeah, Atari's been trying hard to mine. They just put out that Lunar Lander Beyond. Which is doing okay. They've been trying to mine the IP they bought, essentially. They're trying to do it, I think, a more right way than a lot of others have, like Embracer, where they're keeping their scope down. They're not going too crazy on stuff. And, I don't know. As long as they don't spend too much money, they should be okay.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Speaking of Alone in the Dark, though, oh my God, everything's Insider Gaming today. Are you a big fan? Alone in the Dark developer Pieces Interactive laid off employees. So this is via Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. A month after launch, so Alone in the Dark came out. It had David Harbour and that lady in it. I can't remember her name. Jodie Comer. A month after launch, developer Pieces Interactive are laying off employees. It's unclear how many people have been let go, writes Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming. Quoting a few tweets, I'm getting laid off. QA analyst Helena Hansen posted on X, formerly Twitter. I'll make a better post with my links and all that once my feelings have settled, but my heart is breaking for myself and my co-workers right now.
Yeah, she just tweeted, finished my first game, and then 3 days later, been fired.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah,
it's a bit rubbish. Bit naff. Pieces Interactive is based in Sweden and it's owned by Embracer Group. Wait, they're not Embracer Group anymore. Embracer Group and Friends.
They're still Embracer Group until they change over, really.
Split.
Yeah, because even this, he said, "Oh, I don't know, maybe we won't do this whole split." And it was like, I don't know, they're so weird. But I reviewed Alone in the Dark, really liked it. Thought it was pretty solid overall. So sad to see. It was a smaller budget game. Yeah, it was a not even, I don't even know if it was AA on the budget. Smaller game. Looked nice at times. Comer and Harbor really acted their hearts out, and they went all in on the video game, grunting and dumbness and stuff. Okay little puzzles, and an interesting story overall. I liked it quite a bit, but it kind of came and went.
You were probably more generous than others were, but I think you reviewed it for what it is.
Yep.
And as always, when you bring back a legacy IP with a lot of preconceived notions about what it should be attached to it, people ding it for being what it isn't for some reason.
People like to review things in a way that is focused more on what they want than what they have, and that I've never been down with that.
No, quite right. Elsewhere in news, there's a few Nintendo things here, but before we actually get into that, speaking of Embracer, the Embracer CEO suggests that he should shoulder much of the blame for a long list of mistakes in another episode of No Shit Sherlock. This is coming via Tom Ivan over at VGC, Video Games Chronicle, for those that did not know that acronym. I'm sure I deserve a lot of criticism, Lars Wingfors says, following mass layoffs. I would say you probably do deserve a lot of that blame, Lars. I think a lot of the industry really dislikes you as a person and your company right now. I'm just saying.
It's going to take a very long time to break down just the amount of damage that Embracer has done, the amount of companies they bought, the amount of people they fired, the amount of splintering they ended up doing with various things, and all the selling. Like, it's just been a complete mess, and I still don't think they know what they're doing. I still don't think they have the right idea. This splitting of companies up so that they can desperately try and make more money through stocks and whatnot is... It's the exact same thing they were already trying. It's not different. It's just now we're going to try it three times at once instead of just once. Like Embracer Group was, let's constantly borrow money and try and make as much money as we can through public, shit. Just nonstop trying to do that as desperately as we can. And it didn't work the first time. I don't see it working much better the second time. And I see them firing and selling off things, firing people, selling off IP and companies in another year or two again. Like, it's not going to change that much. I don't. Yeah.
To round this off, the Swedish gaming giant, this is via VGC, and its CEO faced a backlash in the wake of restructuring, which is now complete. And Wingfors told Gamers Fears that a lot of the criticism leveled at him personally was probably fair. Very big of you, Lars. And I quote, "As a leader and an owner, sometimes you need to take the blame and you need to be humble about if you've made mistakes and if you could have done something differently. I'm sure I deserve a lot of criticism, but I don't think my team or companies deserve all the criticism." Careful. "I could take a lot of that blame myself, but ultimately I need to believe in the mission we set out and that it's still valid, and we are now enabling that by doing this new structure."
It just reads. Okay. It reads so dumb. It reads bad.
Yeah, I will present that without comment.
It comes down to saying, like, a lot of people that know him say he really loves games and he really cares about them, but he doesn't obviously
Stop
know
people that
how.
make them.
Yeah, he doesn't know how he hasn't figured out how the industry actually works, which is like, it's a really bad combo. Like, I really love this thing and I want to be a big part of it, so I'm just gonna go and borrow a bunch of money and take it all in, and that'll make me money. And then a game that can take off, like Dead Island 2, do really well, but isn't enough, despite it's because it's this little tiny drop in this enormous bucket you've built. So it's like, oh yeah, this game didn't cost too much and it made us a bunch of money, but man, we needed something like GTA to be able to carry us. It's like, that's what that Saudi Arabian deal was. It was like, we need $2 billion or else we're going to have to fire everyone. And then that fell through because Saudi Arabia probably looked at their numbers and was like, oh God, possibly. I'm guessing, of course, don't sue me. But it's like, their numbers are bad. They have to be, otherwise they wouldn't be firing everyone and selling everything, because they're not bringing in nearly enough money to pay off the insane amount of loans that they took out when interest rates were low, and now they're not anymore, and so you can't keep borrowing, and it just sucks. You just completely ruined many dozens of people's lives, and didn't have to. But I mean, that's been the industry right now. None of this had to happen. But huge bubble, make as much money as we can, overhire. Like we saw it even with Activision Blizzard. They almost doubled their employee count while being bought because it happened during the pandemic. And it's like, yeah, now all of a sudden Microsoft's like, okay, cool. Shit. We're already firing people here. Now we're stuck firing more. Awesome. It's like, it all sucks.
Yes, it really does. But there you go. What can we say? I think that anyone now, if these three new companies start to think, oh man, we'd like to acquire you, I would, if I was a business owner, I'd be like, do you? And I would really think about that. Unfortunately, people also really like money. So I understand why it happens. So yeah. Anywho, in other news, the 2K community are getting very, very cross at 2K because for some reason they've banned a leading WWE 2K24 creator named What's the Status. They're known, I think, for uploading content that's usually inaccessible.
Yeah, so
players,
like
right? So this is
models
stuff
that are in the game, like announcers and various people who you can't normally play as. He would then make them playable. He would also like re-upload women as men and men as women, not for any reason other than it lets you fight them against each other. Because normally men can only fight men, women can only fight women, because they pretend it's a sport still, to a point. But he would make it so that now all the men are women, all the women are men, and you can have them wrestle against each other in ways that the game normally wouldn't allow.
Indeed. Yeah, he took to Twitter to announce that all of his uploads, which amounted to dozens of wrestlers and other content, this is a byline from Jordan Midler over at VGC, had been removed from the game without warning. And then the next day, he claimed he'd been permanently banned from playing the game online, thus losing all access to its community creation features with no option to appeal. The tweet that he released had the words, we were recently alerted that this account has been associated with inappropriate content, reads a message displayed to What's the Status when he logged into the game. This is a violation of our end user license agreement, which every player accepts prior to accessing WWE 2K24 online features. When asked for clarification on the ban, a 2K spokesperson told VGC in question has received an indefinite ban due to violation of the terms. Mods which negatively impact the game experience for other players violate our terms. Our primary concern is a positive WWE 2K24 experience for all players.
Which a lot of people are questioning.
He's uploading anything inappropriate, right?
Yeah, it's just more that he gives access to things that they want to probably eventually charge people on. And 2K and their love of microtransactions, it's one of the main issues I had with Top Spin, where most of that game's progression is either it is your My Career, And even there and in other places, it's mostly just a microtransaction season pass. It is very funny over time, people realizing the loot box system was probably fine. Like, you actually get way more out of a loot box system for free than you ever do out of a season pass. Overwatch, you could get every skin in the game just by playing it, but now you have to buy a season pass to be able to get anything, and even then, all the best skins just cost money in the shop. But it ends up being similar. Like WWE's monetization isn't too bad because they have a whole trading card, build a roster mode, but it's not, you really can't pay to win. You have to play more than anything. So overall, for them, in general, not too bad. Maybe they're not seeing a ton of return on it, which is why they're going after people that give away content they don't want to.
Yeah. Breaking news via everyone's favorite Xbox Twitter account, focused Twitter account. Clobril says the Fallout 4 next gen update is rolling out right now.
There
you go.
We were wondering.
I don't have a source apart from Clobril for that, but
he's lying. You yell at him.
There you go. Yeah, don't let it on us. It's what Clobril says. But there you go. Next up in news is a bit of Nintendo stuff. A suspect has been charged. This is via VGC, written by Chris Skillian. Suspect charged for cancelling Nintendo Japan events by threatening to kill everyone for shitty games. The Nintendo Live 2024 event was cancelled over security concerns, and the man suspected of being responsible for threats that led to that cancellation has been officially charged. He's a 27-year-old resident of Hitachi City in Japan's Ibaraki Prefecture. Was today charged with obstructing business by force. According to those charges, the man sent a total of 39 threats via the inquiry form on Nintendo's official website. Wow. Why did you do that? Threats allegedly include, I will make you regret bringing such a shitty game into this world, although it's not clear exactly what game he was referring to. The man is also accused of threatening to kill everyone involved and saying be careful about events that have spectators in attendance.
How American of him.
Wow.
Yeah, man, that's just
unusually so.
That is for a country that actually completely changed systems and changed up their government and stuff when the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was shot in the back with a homemade shotgun. It's not normally the type of place where people just do this. Like, it would be considered real bad to just call up and make a ton of threats, because when that happened with Abe, it actually changed a lot of stuff for the positive. They listened, oh shit, if this happened, then there must be something going on. And it'd been the guy's mom was part of Reverend Moon's cult or something like that, and they looked into it more oh shit. I might be wrong, but yeah, this is definitely not the country or the part of the world where, because this is a Tuesday in pretty much any major American country or city, mostly because
people filling out inquiry
we're really
forms.
Bad. There's been an issue over time of not going for the symptoms of homelessness or anything where people might have mental problems and need help, and instead you just arrest them and try and get money out of the whole situation. Japan and other countries can be better. Obviously, everyone's got major issues all the time about certain things like this. But when I was reading this, it was wild, because this is not what you think of when you think of Japan and the way the culture is normally represented
conduct
to
themselves.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very strange.
It's a wild one.
Yeah, that is a wild one. And in other Nintendo news, legendary Garry's mod, is removing, and brace yourself for this, this is via Wario64 on Twitter. Garry's mod is removing 20 years worth of Nintendo-related workshop items due to takedown requests from Nintendo. Garry's mod team have kindly asked users, if you want to help us by deleting your Nintendo-related uploads and never uploading them again, that would help us a lot. because that's a game that's been around for a long time. Like, how do you get all of that?
Just
20
insane amounts
years
of work.
worth of uploads to go through.
I guess Yuzu really screwed everyone over by making a Patreon for their friggin' emulator and making lots of money. Nintendo finally cracked down and is using all of their might to come after pretty much anyone that uses anything they do anymore. It's also funny because like Ryujinx is still right there and works perfectly, but don't tell them because Ryujinx doesn't make any money. So, but hey, that is Nintendo. They're mostly in the news this year for shitty stuff. Next year we'll get fun things, and I have a PR contact. Maybe we'll be able to get some. I highly doubt we'll be able to get any hardware, but
time to launch Nintendo
software.
era, yeah.
I would.
Maybe we could get
if I
hardware.
thought Nick would do
Fun,
anything.
Yeah.
He would. Yeah. He would if he was able to focus on Nintendo full time as a job. I bet you he would do more than me. He would it would be nonstop because he'd be on it all the time anyways. So it might just be like 100 hours of streaming a week of him playing all the Nintendo games and not liking most of them. Because it is funny how that always happens. There's very specific ones he actually really gets into, like a Metroid Dread or an Odyssey. But most other things he doesn't actually like, which is always what makes it very funny.
Yeah. What else? In other news, People Can Fly have cancelled a co-op action RPG named Project Dagger. This is via Tom Ivan over at VGC. The company had been planning to self-publish the game after it was dropped by publisher Take-Two. This was spotted by a good friend of XboxEra, Moro NL, on Twitter. The Polish company informed investors this month that work on the game was discontinued on April 5th. That cancellation is expected to negatively impact People Can Fly's standalone financial results for 2023 by $16.9 million and its consolidated financial result by $19.75 million. That's a shame. It's a shame. This is, I think, another reason, why is it secretive? This is why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No one wants to be 2 years or something into a project and then be like, cancelled.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, wait, what? We didn't see it. It was.
Well,
it
happens
a lot more than you think.
Yeah, because there was someone on our forums is like, man, these companies just suck at making games. They keep canceling them. It's like, buddy, games get canceled by everyone all the time. What they suck at is not having those games leak. We wouldn't know half of the things that get canceled by Microsoft or Sony if they hadn't leaked. We wouldn't know any of them for the most part because they're not announced. They're almost never announced and canceled. That's Scalebound. That's the one that was announced and canceled. That doesn't happen very often. Oh, the Minecraft super duper graphics pack that was announced and canceled. That's the stuff we know of because it was announced. But the sheer volume,
Halo Mega Blocks.
Yep. It always takes a leak.
It happens all the time. We see it often as well now. YouTuber will get hold of some footage of some game that was made 20 years ago that was cancelled, and they find it on a disc or a ROM or a cartridge somewhere. And look, this existed, but it never got released. It happens a lot.
Yeah, Last of Us Online is one we know of that was publicly announced and then canceled because it was publicly announced to be part of Last of Us 2's main release, and then they're like, oh, it's too big, we're gonna splinter it off, and then eventually it got canceled. But again, that is the exception, not the norm. We wouldn't have known the Great Web, the Spider-Man Online game. Wouldn't have known anything about that without the leak. So it's just the way it is.
That's why gamers love the old leaks, don't they? They love them. Well, and in other news, I can't believe I didn't spot this, but via Windows Central, Gears of War voice actor says next game in the series could be announced in June. Liam McIntyre, the voice of JD Fenix from the Gears of War series, posted a comment on Twitter. This is via Alexander Cope over at Windows Central, implying the developers of the flagship Xbox franchise could be announcing a new game in June of 2024. The last mainline in Gears of War series was Gears 5, released back in 2019, and there hasn't been a new game released since Gears Tactics. Mm.
Come on,
Will we
StreamYard.
see,
Come on, StreamYard. There we go. Okay.
will we see the Gears collection too?
Maybe it would. Nick doesn't get to take a W on it because he announced it way too soon. Also, he doesn't get to take a W if he doesn't start taking more L's. You're announcing super soon. It's just a pure L until it's ever announced, and even then, it's just a little W. But yeah,
Tiny W. But yeah, there you go.
I hope so. I would very much like that to have all the games on PC would be real cool. To have them upgraded for series consoles would be real neat. Yeah, but yeah, they look real nice.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'm not the biggest Gears of War fan, but I always have fun playing them through in co-op. Like they are always a really good laugh. But I never really care about the multiplayer. I know there's multiplayer nuts for Gears out there, but I'm not one of them. But I'm more than anything, I'm just very happy for Coalition to just absolutely melt my eyeballs out of my sockets so that I can see some Unreal.
Unreal is
Engine
finally in a good
5
place.
wonder.
Like Unreal 5 is finally a thing now that we get to see. I don't get to pretend. I don't get to yell that Unreal Engine 5 doesn't exist anymore. You're about to get your eyeballs melted next month by Hellblade when you review it, and I would love to get my eyeballs melted by Gears sometime soon when I review it, because I do love Gears. I don't play much of the online, but I do play a ton of the Horde. Escape was also very fun in 5. I don't know that they'll bring it back, but 5's campaign I love, and 5's expansion I really enjoyed. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing a Gears collection, because Ultimate Edition on PC is rough. It's so old it was Games for Windows Live, I think. 2 and 3 never made it to PC. Judgment never made it to PC, probably won't. 4 is fine on PC. 5 is incredible on PC. So seeing what they can do if they rebuild those
Judgment's,
games. Woo.
Yeah. Judgment's kind of the gingerhead stepchild of the Gears franchise. It wouldn't surprise me if it was left out of a collection, though.
Well, yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
At least at first, because they also did add in stuff to the Halo collection that was left out at first. But we'll see if they go back at all or not. Yeah.
It depends. If a Gears collection exists and it launches in a terrible state and is completely broken, maybe they'll feel compelled to add something in.
Well, it would be the
as
multiplayer
an
being
apology.
broken, because that was the broken part of Halo, because you could play all the campaigns.
Yeah, it was absolutely busted.
The multiplayer just didn't work. Unless you really like watching timers go for trying to connect to a match. Yeah.
Man, I held a LAN for the MCC launch, and that was a rough LAN. It was just like, oh well, let's play the campaigns again in co-op.
So did it not even work
after
in
everyone
LAN?
blitzed through?
Or were you guys trying to play online in your LAN?
No, it was like 4 of us, so we were just going to take on the world, you know. So I think we went to 2 pairs for CE and Halo 2, and then we all teamed up again for Halo 3 and all of that. So yeah, fun, but ultimately not what the plan was for the LAN.
No.
There you go. I'm sure I wasn't alone in booking time off for that and then being very, very sad about what a mess that was. But that's it. That's all of the news, including some extra bits that weren't even on our sheet. So go figure. But as always, chat, we thank you for hanging around, and be sure to like the stream if you can. Apologies for some of the technical hiccups that we have had. We will correct those for next time around and wait for fiber connection before we rely on Restream. And yeah, just to reiterate, we're announcing today our first ever Sub-A-Thon on May the 9th with giveaways and community challenges and co-op shenanigans and multiplayer sessions, including a chance to win a very fancy, all decked out to the gills Xbox Elite 2 controller via Design Labs. So if you want to be in it with a chance to win it, be sure to be tuning in on May the 9th for the Sub-A-Thon, and donate where you can to help ship this crew of Xbox-centric gamers to Summer Games Fest and Gamescom 2024.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, we've got the PayPal link. So if it doesn't work via PayPal, like anything, Patreon or YouTube Super Chats, whatever you can do, anything that helps, we greatly appreciate it, and it will go towards us being able to exist.
Yeah, it's only paying for flights and hotels. And it's worth mentioning that that link can accept all cards and not just PayPal. So everyone, in theory, should be more than good. But we would appreciate any and all assistance as and where it can be given. Until then, be sure to stay tuned to XboxEra.com for the latest and greatest in gaming Xbox-centric news. We'll be back on Saturday, except I won't be. I will be in London having a birthday day out with my son. But Jesse, special, and keep me honest here, the one and only man with a million, Randall Thor.
That is the plan.
To lead you through those dark, murky Saturday waters.
Yeah.
On the Xbox Era podcast.
That's our plan. Hopefully, it all comes to fruition.
That's the plan.
It might be a StreamYard show. I might just give in and do that. We'll see.
But no worries. Appreciate everyone for hanging out. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao for now.